This video is a read aloud for NTI Day 12 for Part 5, the Common Core practice, which is a formative assessment. As you listen, feel free to pause, rewind, do whatever you need to do in order to absorb what it is I'm reading. So here we go. Read the scientific article, then answer the questions that follow. From A Dire Water Shortage by Emily Zone, Science News for Kids. Causes. Scientists are just beginning to understand the conditions that lead to droughts. They're finding that small changes in the flow of wind and water can have a huge effect on climate around the globe. Strangely enough, much of the story depends on the temperature of water in the oceans. Normally, winds blow west across the tropical Pacific Ocean, away from Central and South America. As wind-driven warm water moves over the ocean, it piles up in Indonesia and elsewhere in the western Pacific. Warm air rises offshore, causing rain to fall. Meanwhile, cold water comes up from the bottom of the coast of South America. This flow allows a richness of life to flourish near the coast, and it helps maintain predictable weather patterns from season to season. Every 5 to 10 years or so, though, the wind dies down. As a result, the surface of the Pacific Ocean gets warmer. Rainfall then tends to fall further to the east. Such a change in weather causes, among other things, floods in Peru and droughts in Australia and Indonesia. This new weather pattern is known as El Niño. An opposite cascade of events happens during the weather pattern called La Niña, when Pacific surface temperatures cool down. Both El Niño and La Niña, when they happen, usually last for 2 to 4 years. The current drought in the West could last much longer than that. In fact, historical records show that droughts typically go on for 10 to 50 years. And it's not just El Niño and La Niña at work. In the last few years, scientists from the U.S. Geological Survey, or USGS, have begun to link precipitation on the Colorado Plateau to temperature shifts both in the Pacific Ocean and in the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic effects. A recent statistical study by USGS researchers found that less moisture falls on the United States when surface temperatures in the North Atlantic are warmer than normal. These conditions prevailed during a number of droughts over the past century. The study also found a correlation between warm water in the central North Pacific and drought in the southwestern and northern plains of the United States. When water is warm in both the North Atlantic and the North Pacific at the same time, conditions can get mighty dry in the American West. This explains at least a part of what's going on right now in the Colorado River Basin, geologist John Dorenwind says. Records show that the basin's annual flow volume has been dropping for more than a century, but the drought has grown much worse since the year 2000. Compared to measurements taken in 1922, water flow has dropped to 1/3 of its original rate. People problems. Oceans can't take all of the blame for the impact of today's drought, Dorenwind says. Although ocean temperatures may be an important factor in starting a drought, people are making the problem of water shortages much worse. Dorenwind notes that cities are growing faster in the Southwest than anywhere else in the country, and people keep pouring in. Many of these people are retired persons who lived in the Northeast or Northwest and want to get out of the cold, Dorenwind says. It's hard for them to adjust to using less water than they're used to, he adds, and they don't want to let go of their golf courses, green lawns, or long showers. Over time, more and more water has to be allocated to people moving in, and less goes to everything else, Dorenwind says. Ironically, as the drought continues, the cycle feeds on itself. Ranchers go out of business because they don't have enough water to grow alfalfa for their cattle. Then, developers arrive and build more homes. As more people move in, the demand for water continues to grow, even as the supply of water rapidly dwindles. How long? It's impossible to know how long this drought will last, and some scientists are beginning to fear the worst. Question 1. Read these 2 sentences. Some people believe that droughts are the fault of nature, which we can't control. These people say that Earth has always experienced water shortages and that we do not need to worry about the issue. How does the author of A Dire Shortage of Water reveal a point of view that differs from the statement above? A. She mentions recent scientific discoveries about ocean temperatures, global climate, and drought. B. She refers to historical records of droughts in the western part of the United States. C. She explains that ocean temperatures cause drought, but human settlements make the problem worse. D. She reports that the rate of water flow in the Colorado River Basin has decreased to about 1/3 of its original rate. Please pause the video as you make your selection. Question 2. Which sentence from the text best shows the author's intent to describe how both human and natural factors contribute to drought? A. Such a change in weather causes, among other things, floods in Peru and droughts in Australia and Indonesia. B. When water is warm in both the North Atlantic and the North Pacific at the same time, conditions can get mighty dry in the American West. C. Although ocean temperatures may be an important factor in starting a drought, people are making the problem of water shortages much worse. D. As more people move in, the demand for water continues to grow, even as the supply of water rapidly dwindles. Please pause the video as you make your selection. Question 3. How does the content of the passage reflect the author's point of view? A. It shows that the author approves of ongoing scientific research. B. It provides facts and statistics showing that the problem of water shortages is growing. C. It shows that the author feels hopeless about the fate of our planet. D. It shows that the author dislikes the fact that cities are growing faster in the Southwest than elsewhere. Please pause the video as you make your selection. Number 4. In your own words, describe the author's point of view about the water shortage and tell how you determined it. Use at least 2 details from the article to support your answer.